Welcome back. We are going to be talking about approvals, the key that comes with knowledge. What the average person will need to show in order to be approved. Needs to make 3 times the rent before taxes on a monthly basis, credit above 550, no property debts, i.e. broken lease, eviction, cleaning fees, etc., no criminal history no matter how old. Ways to show income. Check stubs and bank statements are the preferred method to show income. This is good for everyone and what should be used if possible. All properties will accept this. Offer letters. They are good for people with new jobs, relocating, or salary increase. Offer letters need to have an official letterhead, start date, compensation, and a way to verify employment. Large managements will accept offer letter like Greystar, Abbey, and so on. Some smaller managements will accept offer letters if they are notarized. Always call to verify. Last year's taxes. This is not a common way to show income, but is used by self-employed persons if bank statements or check stubs don't work. Most larger managements will accept. Always call to verify. Lastly, lump sum of money in their bank. This is good for anyone that can show it, but most commonly used by people that have just sold their home and are relocating without a job set up. Very few managements will accept this, but a few will. Most of the time, properties will want to see that the entire lease amount is in the bank or only allow the tenant to do a 6-month lease. Call to verify. Other types of income properties. Tax credit, income restricted, subsidized. They all three mean the same thing. Tenants must make a certain amount of yearly income. You can both under and over qualify for income. Properties of this nature can take up to a month to get approved. Section 8, HUD, and any type of vouchers. We do not work with these. These are some of the hardest leases because most properties don't pay and tenants never want what is available. Must ask questions when dealing with broken leases, evictions, misdemeanors, and felonies. Starting with broken leases and evictions. How many? This is a good question to ask first because if they respond with more than one, then we can tell them right away that unfortunately we aren't able to help them. How old? For the most part, about a year old is the soonest we can start to help. There are a few exceptions. Ask your mentor who currently is accepting them. How much is owed? You need to know the balance because properties have specific balance amounts they cannot exceed. Do they have a rental history after? Rental history must be through a professional management, not a private owner. However, not having rental history is not a deal breaker. It just provides more options. Brand new property debt. Ask if it is on their credit yet. If it is not, send them to a property that only does credit check, not rental history checks. Moving over to misdemeanors and felonies. How many? More than 2 felonies is a deal breaker, and 3 misdemeanors is about the max we can work with. How old? This kind of depends on what charge is for and how serious it was. Misdemeanors we can start working with as soon as possible as long as they aren't serious. General rule of thumb for felonies is about 4 years. What was it for? We need to know what the charge is for because certain apartments only accept certain charges. Old criminal record. Some properties stop checking criminal background after a certain number of years. You can ask properties, how far back do you check criminal history? About 7 years old is the soonest you can start doing this. There are always exceptions to this, but the exception may just be one property. Best to talk to your mentor if you have had an odd scenario. Unfortunately, you will come across plenty of people you cannot help. People that we cannot help include currently on probation, cash only, and serious felonies. Steps to working with a client. First, contact with client. Make sure you have a good understanding of what it is they are looking for. Then, you will start their apartment search by entering in their criteria into the MLS. Next, you can call apartments to confirm availability and any rental criteria. Then set appointments for clients if you know when your client is wanting to view. 5th, follow up with client until they have leased. Then lastly, collect leasing info for invoicing by emailing or faxing a move-in confirmation to the property, then turning it in the completed confirmation to us. 1. Put in how many bedrooms they are needing. 2. Up their rent by $50, unless they cannot afford $1 more. 3. Expand their range by a couple of blocks each direction. 4. Only input your client's must-haves. Don't limit their options by what they would like. If overabundance of communities shows up on their search, then put in what they would like. 5. If client is looking for something very specific, call apartment to verify before sending listing. 6. Use property's website or apartments.com to check availability. 7. Keep your listing under 6 properties. 8. If possible, leave off properties that only pay flat fees of under $200. 9. After sending the listing, send text to your client. List sending strategies. There are 2 different strategies we use depending on what works best for you. The recommended method is sending the listing first. Putting together a listing of the best options that meet their criteria and send it to them before calling. Then wait for the client to reply with what properties they like, then call the properties to confirm everything. Check as much as you can online, like availability. For this to work, you need to already have an idea about the property. This is recommended when you are busy. It will save you a lot of time going this route. Calling property first. Before sending a listing, you call every property that you are sending to confirm that this is what your client is looking for. Then once you have confirmed available, amenities or rental criteria, you send the listing to your client. This method is a great way to begin to learn your product. In a perfect world, this is the best method, but it is very time-consuming and makes it tough to get to all of your clients. Follow-ups, where the money is made. When first speaking with your clients, it's a good idea to ask them when they are wanting to go look at properties. This is going to be your first follow-up day. Recommended to follow up later in the day. There are 3 different ways the follow-ups can go. 1. When you follow up with your client and they answer and tell you, "I am applying at a property." Great. Get which property they are applying and then wait for them to be approved. 2. When you follow up with your client, they may say, "I didn't like my options," or "Is there anything else?" You will have to go back and do another search. If nothing new pulls up, you may have to ask if your client can change any of their criteria. If they are not willing to change anything, you may have to have the talk with them. The talk. This is where a little sales ability comes in handy. Depending on the situation, you will have to convey to your client that A, those are all of the options available, or B, that they need to change something about their criteria. If they are unwilling to accept either of those options, then let the client look around for a little while. Do not waste any more time calling or doing searches. Just follow up with them every once in a while. 3. Lastly, when following up, your client may not answer your call. Then you will need to start following up with your client regularly every other day. Before you give up, follow up with the client 8 different times. Make sure to call and text. Most people prefer text. On the last follow-up, send a text saying, "This is my last attempt to follow up with you. I will be closing your account if I do not hear back. Thank you." By sending a text like this, you will get a fair amount of responses back saying that they were just busy but they are still looking. It is a good idea to have a candid follow-up text that you can send. Doing this will save you a lot of time. These are 2 suggestions for you to use. Following up on how your apartment search is going, a quick update is greatly appreciated. Make sure to put me as your referral to get free movers or get your rebate up to $200. Thank you. Full name, Texas Apartment Experts. An easier way to find your next apartment home with Texas Apartment Experts. This is your name, reaching out to see how your search is going. Text back 1 if you found a place, 2 if you are still searching, 3 to follow up later, 4 to stop, no longer need help. Message and data rates may apply. Approved and invoicing. Once approved. Once your client has applied and been approved, follow up with the property to confirm they are approved and that your name is down on the application. Once you have confirmed, then you wait until the client moves in. Moved in. Once the client moves in, then you will email or fax the property a move-in confirmation. Depending on the property, you may have to resend it a couple of times. In-office agents. We'll turn in confirmations to the turn-in box to be invoiced. Be sure to make a copy for your records. Remote agents. May turn confirmations into the turn-in box. You may also email leads to the manager or fax confirmations. If you are emailing, make sure you receive an email back confirming it has been received. Free move and rebates. First, this is your decision if you want to offer these options to your client or not. All clients get a free move or rebate up to $200. It's pretty much the only way this needs to be said to your clients. Always refer your client to the website guidelines when they have questions. Once they have applied, they will definitely have questions. Tell them to submit for their perks through the website, and they will get an email back with what they are getting and how to proceed. Please go to our website and read the guidelines for yourself. Advice from experienced agents. You are building a business, and that will take you some time. So don't expect too much too quick and have a little patience because there is a reward. Don't expect to go straight into luxury. Everyone wants to, and it's just divided too much. Start off working with cheaper apartments and then average apartments to get you going. Then work up to luxury. Get used to rejection. We deal with people and people are unpredictable. You will do everything right and still have deals fall through because of little things. That's why this is a volume business. You must treat this as a full-time, 9 to 5, 5-day-a-week office job. Working from home, people get too distracted and you take half the leads you would at the office. You need to be in the environment as much as possible, which is the office. One thing people don't realize is you have to be available when the people are, not when you are. Otherwise, they will find an agent who is available when they need them. Product knowledge and network is the key to success. You must know where to send your clients that best meets their needs. If you personally know the leasing agents at the property, they are more likely to approve and lease your client. Next, we will do our database and MLS training. See you in the next video.